Well, there we are, hazy day up at the water tower. I'm just starting the walk. Not a long one today. I've been dieting for a fortnight because I've got a tooth infection. So I don't want to be doing too much. Oh, a nice thing. The last couple of weeks when we've been up here, there've been mobile homes up here, so they're obviously trying to stop them. Right, we're going round the reverse way today so we can see Chinyero, although it is hazy up here. Interesting, we've got sawdust on the path, so the foresters must have been working down here. Can't see what they've been doing. This is a normal start to the walk from the water tower. It's as nice as ever. Down near the Environmental Museum there was a small coach offloading a whole busload of walkers going somewhere, not the same way as me, I hope. We've got deep tracks. They've had lorries up here, so the foresters are obviously doing some work. Local, getting food stuff for his animals. Hola, gracias. It's interesting to look at the countryside. I don't know what I've got the the polarizer on this morning, but these heaps of rocks at the side, I presume they come off the paths, that they got tipped up there at some time. But it's only when you stop to look at the kind of rock, the amount of stuff that comes out of volcanoes is really impressive. But well, we will see as we go up. We go past the edge of the lava field as we get towards the gallery, the water gallery. Well, I was wondering whether this little tripod that I'm using as a handle will do for selfies, walking, which it will. So we might be able to take some pictures. Oh, lots of cars being up this way. We're now coming up to the edge where the path runs off up to Chinyero. We're going kind of that way. We'll be walking towards Chinyero when I get to the top path, but I'm going round the back way, up this and round the side. So we'll see in a minute. Well, there's the signpost for the footpath to Chinyero, but I'm going up this track which takes us to the other side of this little mountain. Then I'll climb up the steep hill onto the top Forester's track. The number of these trees, they appear to be in lines when you look at them. I don't know if they were planted that way, but they are impressive. They're on the mountain, of course, and we're going up in between two of them. The wicked brambles are starting to grow quite quickly now, both sides of the path. It has rained in the last week, so that's probably why. But on this, because it's a trike, they don't make life that difficult. There are other tracks running off this one. I've just passed one with the Clinton GPS, it doesn't exist, and now we're coming up to another one. So I will stop recording and see if the GPS says that one goes anywhere. It goes up there. I'm going that way. Well, the track that I showed you didn't go anywhere according to GPS. It didn't exist according to the GPS. But there's a small mountain in the way there. Looks as though it goes around the edge of there. It's another one that maybe on a future walk I'll walk on. Some of them do rejoin this path further back, so it could just be an alternative path to this one. Might we just make a change in the walks. Well, I've just passed another track coming in onto this one. May join that other one, but I'm not sure. But this is, if you look back, the Telefonica towers above Santiago del Teide. Shows you roughly where we are. Big and little gala there. And I'll come back out. Where I'm going, if I turn it slowly, is down here. And then in a short while, we'll have the turn off to the left that takes me up to the steep rise onto the top path. We have walked this many times, most people will know this, but again, as we just come in here, there is another track coming in off that side. So yeah, one day I must walk that, because there's a car up there. So it's a pickup, it's picking up. As you can see, the local farmers have collected the dried pine needles, etc., for feed for their goats. That may be why those are there. At this point, you can see that we have some mountains at that side covered in pine. We're going up part of one of those, but down this footpath or track, somewhere down at the bottom there is a sign saying beware bees, but I've never found anybody locally that, well, not for the last 2 years, that actually sells honey anymore. And there we are, the little sign that warns you you're going into somewhere where there are beehives. Well, coming up to the turn off, up to the left, and back into the forest for a short while. Going round to the right and all the way around is a longer but more interesting walk, as I'm going across and up this little slope here and onto the path that takes me up to the steep, firstly to the water gallery and then up to the top forester's track. But that'll be in a while. We're now at the side of the lava field. I'm going up towards the old water control, I think it said derelict place, and the gallery. And then we'll start the really steep climb, all the way, fairly steep now. Well, here we are now, the old gallery. I don't think there's any water comes out of this, there's no pipes. So even though there was an old pumping station, or water control station there, it's no longer in existence. And having walked up from down that whole track down there, all the way up from the bottom, as you can probably see now, I'm now going to go all the way up there and then into the steeper bit further up. So it'll be no talking for a while. So now I got myself up from down there on that steep bit. We've got the lava field on this side of us, and a path that goes up and up and gradually gets steeper and steeper as we get towards the next track further up. Oh, yeah. Hola. Buenos días. Un poco calor. Sí, pero son buenos días.
Está mezclado.
Sí.
Está mezclado.
Adiós. Buenos días. Oh, just had a chat with two Spanish walkers, but now I come to a place where the track splits into three. There's one or two going that way, and this one. I think it's this one. It's one that's being walked. You can see from the how people have slid down in the pine cone and the pine needles. But it's a bit difficult, this one. And up there, if I can zoom in on that, is the track I'm going to. It runs along there and round that way. So I'm going up there to join it. This is now quite hard. It's deep in pine cones underneath the pine needles, and it's very steep. So it's one step forward, two steps back some of the time. But 50 metres and I shall be on the forester's track. I'm going to switch this off a minute. Well, I've just come up from right down there, a long way down, and I'm sweating cobs, Calima and work, so it's time for a drink, I think. I'll find a seat somewhere, right there, that'll do. Well, there we are, with a bit of a look. You'll be able to see me in a second when I get that off. It's interesting that the new camera and the little tripod were had 2 kilos to weight of the rucksack, which is noticeable. You notice there's no fish today. I'm on still water. Jen thought it might be the fizzy water that was causing my stomach trouble problems. I think that was just the infection from my gums that I got from the dentist. But that seems to be getting better. I'm taking probiotic every morning, so it's improving now. It will have gone by the end of the week. Well, it's now not so bad. Some slight uphill as we go back towards Montana Negra and to see Teide, Viaco and Chinyero in the distance. I'm turning off before that walk though this time, going down a slightly shorter path. But most of the hard work's done, and I'm inside the 3/4 of an hour, so I may get back in the hour and a half I said I would. We'll see. First of all, just got to get myself back together again. I must admit, I'd picked it up with my hands over the top of the camera and switched it onto viewfinder instead of the back screen, so it really wasn't broken at all. This water channel runs all the way around from Arena Negras and Montana Negra all the way around to the Almond Walk and beyond. It's quite a long one. In fact, if you look through there, you can see it still running at the side of the path further on. Well, I'm getting close to the turn off that shortens this walk by a few hundred metres. So it means that I probably won't get any views of Teide because I'm not far enough round on this track. But then I have pictures of that in the past, and the idea is to find this other way down. Now there's a break in the thing in the path there. I wonder whether that's it. Just a minute. No, we're still 50 metres or so from the track. Maybe where the gate is on this track. Well, no, getting fairly close, so it does look as though it's a track that drops down from this barrier to stop idiots driving the cars up here and completely destroying the mountain tracks. There we are. It is fairly obvious with these things, it says you are not allowed in, but people still try to do it. Right, it goes down from here somewhere, so I think I'll try this particular bit. Beyond this, a bit further on, is Montana Negra, but we've seen that before, so I'm not really interested in that. Well, I'm now on the track according to the GPS. It wasn't easy to find at the top, it was just an open field. But this appears to be where we should be going. It doesn't look to be walked that often actually. But you can kind of see where the pine needles have been knocked down or flattened somewhat. And we'll join the main track in a bit anyway, so it'll not matter. Now there's a comforting sign, says you're on the right track. And the main track, it's further down, so we'll be on that in a short time. Now I'm on the main track. I've been walking just under an hour, half an hour left, but it's fairly straightforward. Follow this track now back to the minibus. So with a bit of luck I shall get back in the 1.5 hours I said I would. And it's pretty nice now, it's in the shade, downhill, so no really hard work. So it'll be just a pleasant walk back. Well, I'm now walking down a path. Interestingly enough, or annoying enough, there is a track at the side. This is a path. This is a path that the foresters have put in. But there is a track that's been made by people with cars because they want to bring their cars where they shouldn't. So they just destroy it. That's an interesting bit. I wonder where that goes. Let's see. As you can see, it goes off into the distance there. I'll have a look at my map before we go any further. I didn't want that one, that takes us round a loop. It's on one of the walks we've done from the recreational area down at the bottom of San Jose. We've been up here and walked back down this path, but that would add some distance, which I haven't got time to do today. I'm just happily now going down a nice little wooden path. There you are. There's a nice little view. The trees. Up to there, that's where we're going. Very pleasant. This is the kind of stuff that grows on the trees up here. It tends to get into cloud during the winter, so it gets very wet, and you get lots of that. In fact, if you look in the trees up there, you can probably see some in the branches. I don't know if I can find it for you. Oh, difficult to find. Oh, there they are, hanging off the branches in the trees. I suppose it would be good for hanging baskets. As we are getting lower, the kind of forest changes. Further up in the pines, not much undergrowth, not much variety of trees, but now we're getting further down. The woodland is changing. Undergrowth, which is flowers during the summer, early spring, and lots of small shrubby trees like these, all the way down the sides of the paths. A lot more interesting than the pine forest to some extent. It's just a woodland scene. These, you can see there, aren't steps just put there by the forest to trip you up. They are little runoffs to stop the water running straight down the path. They run them back in water into the forest at set intervals, just to keep the tracks walkable, and so you don't have a torrent running down here just tearing the path up. I'm walking down quite steeply now, and the path goes round there and down there into the distance, round the next bend further down there. So that's where I shall be going. The pines are quite interesting when you look at them. I'll fall back a bit, I think, so you can see the top of them. Impressive, and these aren't the big ones, these are the small ones. The big ones are twice as high. This is the lower slopes of the pine forests, so they're not as big down here. Beautiful looking little path this, right into the distance there. I'm now on a stretch of course of about 100-150 metres of grotty little path. It's covered with loose stone and rocks sticking up out of the bottom to trip you up on, so not very pleasant to walk on at all. I must check my GPS because I'm not sure whether I turn off down here. There is no point, I didn't need to turn off, this was the right track. It's getting a bit better now, and as far as I can recollect, this now goes all the way down to the signpost that we passed earlier that was on the Chinyero track, so we get down to that track. And of course, going up this way, you finish up at Montana Negra, and if you go on past there, you get to Chinyero. So it could well be that this is the Chinyero path. It's not one I walk take much notice of in the names. I'm more interested in where they are. Lots of things like the different kinds of lichen you find on the white stuff and the green stuff. These little things growing again for next year. I did see the top of a giant dandelion with some new growth on it for next year. I mean, they died out a long time ago now, but that one seemed to be still in. I haven't seen one since. Well, we are now approaching the signposts that I took a picture of on the way up. So I've now finished the circuit round. It's a very nice walk down from the Montana Negra. And if you do the top loop, I did the shorter route today, adds another 3/4 of an hour to the walk. You get quite a nice walk. I got lost last time. I finished up in the middle of a lava field, lost. But knowing what I know now, shouldn't happen again. So here we are, back to the signpost, and as I thought earlier, I have been walking down the path that goes to Chinyero, and it says 1.4 kilometres back to San Jose, which is where I'm going now. In actual fact, that San Jose sign was the one down to the recreation centre at the bottom near the campsite where the bar is, bar restaurant. I don't want that. I want the one that goes back to the water tower, which is the one I'm on now. Well, we're nearly back now. Like 10 minutes to go. I'll be back by 12 o'clock. Really is nice just to stop. I enjoy walking, but just to look at the surroundings on the paths and on the track. And some of these bushes are quite fascinating. I just walk this way, I have to watch my feet. But the colours on these, I've got it all the way down the track. It's where I'm going. Well, I don't know if you can see that. Well, we'll walk to the top of the hill rather than zoom in. I've got 4 minutes left for my 1 hour and a half, and there's the water control place that I'm going to. My minibus is the other side of that, so I shall be on time. Been a very nice walk, pleasant. It's unusual. I've seen 2, 3, 5 people, some kind of record. Used to be a popular place up here today. People having a picnic. Another car's just arrived. So different. Most times when we come up here, there's no one.